What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video, and I just got to the part where I can start fighting the Red Demon and getting in those death battles and grinding that kind of mid to end game content a little bit, and I wanted to show you guys all the stuff you need to know to take on this Red Demon. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so you've probably heard about it a few times now, even in my videos, about the demon raids and taking on the Red Demon or the Gray Demon or even the Crimson Demon, and I finally got to the part in the story where I get to finally start fighting this boss and taking a part in all those rewards you get from farming it daily and actually hanging out and playing with another player, which is really interesting. But to unlock this part of the battle, you're going to have to make it to the beginning of Chapter 5, and then it's going to shoot you through a tutorial to learn, like, you know, teach you how to do the Red Demon battle, how exactly you fight it and how you summon it, but I'm going to go over that myself here today. So once you get to that tutorial part and once you get to the point in the game where you can actually fight it, you're going to go ahead and head over to these boss battles, and each town is going to have its own boss battle, and we're going to see that you're going to have 4 available to you. And in these boss battles, you're going to have 3 different fights you can do. So we're going to click on this. Inside of these boss battles, this is where you're going to get some of your awakening materials, some of your evolution materials for your characters. You can go in here and check them out. And you can see what you can get from them. So these are even worth farming as it is. However, as you're farming these are going to give you a chance to spawn a demon. So you can see at the top here, I have a death match complete, so I've already done it for the day. But for you, it'll have like a little gauge bar, and every time you complete one of these missions, it's going to fill it up a little bit more and a little bit more. And that's kind of like the pity system. That's kind of like a mercy system. And you can fill that all the way up, and at that point, the Red Demon is going to show himself, and you're going to have to take him on. And you can do that every day. As you can see, it resets on the daily reset for each of the towns. So we go back here, you can see that I've done it for the day because I was doing it on my stream, but you can do it for everyone. Deathmatch daily limit, deathmatch daily limit, deathmatch daily limit. So you can go in and use it for each one of those things. And when it spawns, it comes in, and I'm going to show you here in a minute that it's going to come in. You're going to have an hour to defeat it, okay? You're going to have an hour where it's open, and you're going to have to go in and fight it. You're going to have 3 different difficulties that you can choose from to fight it with, which is going to be like easy, hard, and then I think like ultra hard or nightmare or something like that. And, you know, as you go up, obviously it's going to get more difficult, but the rewards are going to be better. And let's talk about what rewards you're going to get from the demon, okay? First off, you're going to get that equipment leveling mats that you can get, but the most important part are going to be these demon horns. They're going to be used here in limit breaking, so you're going to need them here in limit breaking. I've got 20 of them now. You can farm the Red Demon to get these, and that way you can push from level 60 to 65 and go even further beyond plus ultra. Wrong anime, but it still works here. And I'm not sure if you have to use them in the awakening mats as well. Let me take a look here. But you can also get chalices, or is another great reward. If you're the host of the Red Demon raid, you're going to be able to get certain specific host ones, which are going to be some of those challenges as a reward. And as far as going in and doing them daily, you can only host up to the number of times you can summon them that we showed in that boss battle. However, you can go in and fight as many as you want fighting with your friends, or if like you get invited to one and go in and fight, you're still going to be able to get some of those horns and get some rewards. You're going to get a great gold. These demon raids are going to be a great access to some gold. So like I was talking about in my gold grinding guide, you are going to want to go ahead and eat some gold food beforehand, as long as you can take down the Red Demon, which you'll be able to. It's probably the easiest demon out there. So what I want to do now is look at some heroes that are really good for the Red Demon fight, and then I'll show you guys some in battle stuff and how the actual battle works. So we're going to head over and show you guys some of the team members you guys should be putting together to take on this Red Demon. So first up, we have our damage dealers, and the first one you're going to look at is Red Elizabeth Hawk. She's going to be great because the demon is going to be the red element, and you guys know blue's going to be red, but red's going to be okay against red. It's not better or worse, and it's going to be weak against humans. Now Elizabeth is going to be the race of the goddess or whatever. It's not going to be the race of human, but that's okay because the way Elizabeth works, she's going to be able to dish out the damage, mostly based on her passive ability here. Increases basic stats by 10% at the start of next turn if a hero doesn't take damage, and it literally stacks unlimited amount of times. And the reason we can pull this off is because the Red Demon can be CC'd. So the way you're going to fight this Red Demon, guys, is you're going to have a CC unit, a buffer or support unit, and then your damage dealer, and your companion friend that's in there battling with you is going to have the same. So hopefully between the two of you, every last turn, so the last action to be used is going to be either a freeze or a petrify, and you're going to stop that demon from doing anything dirty or nasty to you. So this passive is going to build up, build up, build up, and she's going to be able to just crush out the damage and really take on the Red Demon and do a lot of damage. The next one we're going to talk about is the Slater here. Slater is going to be blue and a human, so getting super, those power-ups. So it's going to have the elemental or the attribute power-up and also the race power-up, doing more damage. Another thing about Slater is he does have this awesome passive that says, increases critical chance of 300% of its value when the hero attacks an empty or an enemy, with an empty ultimate gauge. So kind of just like we talked about with Elizabeth Hawk, the Red Elizabeth Hawk, the demon boss in a perfect world is never going to get a turn. So it's never going to have any ultimate gauge filled up. So your boy Slater here is going to have a 300% crit chance up. And the reason it goes all the way up to 300% is because there is crit resistance, and then you have to minus that from your crit, and then that's your crit chance to hit the enemy. So 300% is going to be really nice and dandy. So you can go in there and just start wrecking havoc with this guy. He gets the attribute, the race buff, and then also going to have 300% crit. So it's going to do a lot of damage. Now let's move on to some of the support options you have for the battle. So first up, we have Hellbrum here. We have Green Hellbrum. The reason being is these next two units I'm talking about will be used in almost all the raids. You'll also be using Coin Shop Gother in their place. More so, I think, on the Red Demon, and the other two demons you'll use these guys. But until he comes out, these are your two options. We're going to be going with Hellbrum here because of his attack buff. Increase attack-related stats by all allies by 30% for 3 turns is what he's going to be able to do. And that is great, right? You want to build up more attack because you want to kill off this demon as fast as possible and farm it at the most efficient pace as you can. So this is going to be a great ability for him. Also, if he were to die, he has the passive that comes back 100% at least one time. So it's kind of like a mini guts here for you guys to be able to use. The other partner in crime with him is going to be Gil Thunder. Gil Thunder is going to have the ability increase attack by allies by 60%. So he buffs it by even more for 2 turns. And, you know, he's really good. He's an SR, so he's going to be a little bit more easy to build and get ready to go in there and fight. And another thing I want to talk about him, I know we're talking about the Red Demon, but his passive is excellent for PvP. It puts up your defensive related skills by 30%, and you can put him in the sub spot in PvP. He doesn't have to be in there battling, and that passive, as long as it's unlocked, will work. So what do you do with this? Well, you kind of want to have both of these guys leveled up eventually, because your partner in crime and you will both be able to use Gil Thunder, and the other one to use Hellbrum, and they will stack these. The attack buffs will stack as long as it's from 2 different sources. So you have Hellbrum buffing, you have Gil Thunder buffing, your attack's out the wazoo, and you're doing a ton of damage. If you use 2 Gil Thunders, you use that buff, it's not going to stack up as well. So there's going to be 2 options there. And again, whenever Coin Shop Gother comes out, that guy is amazing. He has an ability where he can make everybody's cards go up, upgrade all their cards that are in the hand. That works for everybody in the raid. So you have 6 players, the Gother does it and pops up everybody's ranks up in their cards. So you're doing even more damage and good stuff. Now, you do have to be able to CC the boss. So one of the options is going to be your Blue King you get. It's going to be the worst option out of the 2. It's going to be your Blue King you get from the storyline. Amazing unit. Level it up. Go crazy. He has a petrification skill, but the card has to be rank 2, right? Like, you have to have it 2 of them put together to at least petrify. And I've run into this problem where sometimes I end up losing. We ended up losing because we don't have enough skills to be able to go in and CC him, right? Because we didn't get lucky enough to get 2 of those cards, and then also my partner didn't, so that was kind of rough. The next option you guys are going to have for CC is going to be Green Gustav, and I can't get my hands on him, but he's going to be awesome. He does have the human race, so it's going to be good for him against the Red Demon, but he is a tribute, like, negative, so he's going to be taking more damage from the demon there. However, his CC ability allows him to freeze on the rank 1 card, so you don't have to have doubles or whatever. Every time you see this card in your hand, you're going to be able to freeze. So it's going to be a more consistent freeze effect. And then if you get it ranked up, actually, he does more damage to frozen targets, which is kind of like a debuff, so he can do a little bit more damage there. The other unit that is not in the game yet is going to be a Merlin. I think it's a red Merlin that's going to be able to go in and actually also freeze, but she's going to be like an SSR unit, have a little bit more bang for your buck. But building up this Gustav shouldn't be that hard because he is an SR, and you're going to be able to use SR pendants to go all the way up instead of needing those coveted SSR pendants. And last but not least, when we're talking about the units, I want to talk about my boy Green Kane. This guy is literally only going to be used in the sub spot, but be used all the time in the raids, or the death match is what they call them in the game. Increases all allies attack related stats by 10% in death match. Essentially, anybody using those sub spots, you're going to want to have them all maxed out because you want to get that CC, that combat class built up, you know, for going on turn 1 and all that kind of good stuff. So you're going to want to have his passive unlocked and just have that extra attack on everybody, so you're doing even more damage. So now that you know the basic strategy and how to build your team, you want a CC unit, you want a support buffer, and then you want one of the attackers we talked about. We're going to move on to show you actually what's going on in the fight and how it works. All right, guys, here we go. We're here to fight the Red Demon. Again, you have an hour after summoning to fight the demon. Whatever town he's in, he's trashing it. He is pissed off, and you can't actually visit that town. You have the chance to use Mama Hawk to like beat him away, like scare him away. And if you do that, you don't get to fight him and you don't get his rewards, but I think you'll get a couple of demon horns instead. I wouldn't do that. I would go in and battle him. It's actually quite fun. So you're gonna get some red demon horns. It says here, if you have Mama Hawk help you, you only get 2 of those, but you'll get more if you actually fight it. If you are the leader of the match, you're gonna get your hands on these nice materials you're gonna need for making your characters better. And then you can see that we do get some awakening stones for our equipment. We get some treasure chests to make some money, and then of those coveted red demon horns, like we said, we need. You you can go through this and you can look through. It'll teach you everything about the fight, show you the combat class recommended so you can go first, and tell you a little bit more about the red demon. We're going to show it here. So before you get into the battle, you want to set up your team. Again, I don't have the most optimized team for this because I don't have a lot of the units we talked about, but once I do, I will be replacing these with the ones we just talked about. I'm going to go ahead and eat a dish, and I'm going to eat the dish that gives me gold gain, because I want to gain a lot of gold from this. It actually drops you a lot of gold when you beat it. If you needed something else, like maybe some HP to make sure you survive, some CC, some combat class to make sure you go in there and go good, you can. So I'm going to prepare and be complete and get ready to go in here and battle it and work with my friend here to take down this red demon. So when you get in here, what you want to work on, and you need to have your stamps turned on. You're going to be able to get stamps from doing this, which are just, in-game emojis. If you go to settings, you can, put on which ones you want to use. But you want to work in tandem with the person that you're partnered with in here inside this raid. You want to make sure to let them know if you can petrify, if you can, if you're going to buff, or if you can't. Maybe if you're going to go through, now we don't have the coin go through yet, but when we get coin shop go through, maybe if you're going to go through, level up some. So see, I can't petrify here, right? Because I need an S2 or a 2-star, excuse me, petrification move from the king. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my things here, and I'm going to go to king, and I'm going to say unusable. So he knows I cannot stun. The last person to act needs to be able to stun, or you're kind of in trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and click on these random abilities that I'm not going to use and not really have too much fun with. But he does have Gustav, as you can see. So his last skill that everybody does, it goes in the order that you click. It's not like, you go, then I go. It's just whoever clicks first, that's the order it's going to go in. So you can see he's going to freeze here, and then the monster is literally going to do nothing. Just stand there and do nothing. It works for everything else. So I'm going to look here. I can petrify, so I'm going to tell him, hey, it is usable, and the way I can do that is to go ahead and move this ability over, combine them. I'm going to use this last. So next I'm going to go ahead and use this. He's going to put all his abilities in, and then I'm going to petrify last, making sure the boss does not get a turn. And this is the kind of the back and forth you need to do. Now you can be in voice chat with someone, maybe you're talking to somebody through text, or they make it kind of simple in here with these different stamps. As you'll see over here in the top left, I'm kind of covering up his boss, his health. It's like right above me, but he'll have 2 hearts under his health, right? Those 2 hearts mean he has 2 life gauges. So depending on how many hearts he has, that's the life gauges. So it looks like I cannot petrify again. So I'm going to go ahead and tell him it's unusable. I cannot use the petrify. So you need to CC. I'm going to go ahead and move this card over here. I'm waiting to use my Gilthunder's attack buff until I get it to gold, because that's how you get the attack 60%. I want to use my Meliodas as fast as possible because I want to get his ultimate up because it does stun, and then he has the Gustav, thank goodness, to be able to freeze here at the last turn. And that's pretty much how this works, guys. You're going to go back and forth, making sure you and your partner work together to take down the boss, CCing it at the end of each stage, and that's how easy the boss is, guys. As long as you don't get screwed over and not get your CC cards, you're going to be great to take it on down. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to skip to the part after the red demon goes down and show you guys what we get. All right, guys, so we've reached the end of this battle. Godzilla and I have been freezing this guy, petrifying him. The red demon's super mad about it, and we took him down here at the end of the fight, and we're going to be able to see what rewards we get as a visitor into the fight. As a friend invited in, we're going to see what we get. Now, I've already completed all of mine for the day, which I highly advise that you do. So we ended up getting 4. We ended up getting 4 demon horns, which is great, you know what I mean? And you can do this as many times as you have friends that'll run it and invite you to go do it. And you get a little bit of experience right here, which is great. You can see the gold that I got. I got 16,000 plus 800. Or 8,000, excuse me, because I ate that food. That's a large amount just for running this on top of, just to get a little bit extra on top of what you were doing, which is good as well. So that's pretty much what you guys are going to be doing with this red demon. Get the characters I talked about in the units ready, because you want to be able to farm it as fast as possible so you can get it out of the way. Because I will say, guys, this game is grindy, and on top of that, there is a ton of stuff to do every day. You want to make sure you get it all done as fast as you can. I do want to show in the menu here, if you go to the stamp box, this is where you can set up which stamps are active and usable, and you could put them in different sets if you would like to. If you end up not finding any of your stamps and you think you should have them, head over to the menu, go to your item storage, and check out your one-time use. There probably are some stamp boxes in here you have to open to be able to use those stamps. So hopefully this video, guys, helps you guys out with the red demon. You guys get to crushing him soon, because it's a grind fest to get there, but once you do, the sweet glory of taking down the demon is great. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you feel about the red demon and what team you're going to take in. If there are any units I missed that are really strong against him. Subscribe for future content. Catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.